Hi everyone, it's Shannon, aka QB Crossing, and today we are back with another speed build, but this one's going to be a little bit different because some of my favorite YouTubers actually chose my theme for me. So I actually teamed up with Katie on Calicove, Toffee, Liz the Lass, Kato, and EJ, and we all decided to put random themes into a generator, and each one of us got assigned one of the themes that were kind of submitted into our little Discord chat. So I am really excited because I ended up getting Katie's theme, which was Dark Academia, and I've honestly been wanting to try this theme for a while now. So I'm going to create a little build today with that theme in mind. That is the aesthetic that I have to stick to, and the only other rule is that it has to be a 9x9 build. So it is sort of small, but it's still a good amount of space to kind of play around, and I highly recommend doing this with your friends if you kind of want a creative challenge, something different, a different theme to just play around with. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's just get right into the build. So to start off, I already blocked off a bit of a 9x9 square for myself so I know what I have to work in between, but I already have a path that I think will work really well with Dark Academia. It's the path that I'm using for most of my diagonal roads, so I like it. It's like this dark brown color, and I think that it will work really well with this theme. I decided I want to make a bit of a cafe slash reading area. Whenever I think of Dark Academia, I think of coffee and books, so I really just wanted to create a little bit of a cafe and just play around with whatever happens. I pulled a bunch of items for myself to use that I was inspired by when I was thinking of the theme, so I really just want to start off by laying my pathing down and then just play around with some items depending on what I pulled and what I had in storage. So we're going to just lay out this pathing here. This will be the main area, and then we'll do a little bit of a more natural area up in the front to fill that 9x9 space. I decided that I wanted to have the back of this with these medieval walls. I think that the dark walls here work really well with the Dark Academia theme, and I do want to mix in some natural elements like trees and bushes wherever I can. Especially if I'm doing a square build like this, I definitely think I need to make it feel a little bit more organic by adding in some natural elements so that it doesn't feel just like a random square on my island. So playing around with some of that placement now, and then I think I'm just gonna have the center be a stall for some coffee. And honestly, I'm just throwing some random items down that I think will work, and I'm hoping that it actually will make sense. For the stall, I think that I just want to have that antique cash register and one of the cute food items, so I chose the bread basket. And I always think it's nice to have a little bit more dimension in front of the stall, so I added a ironwood low table and some other little elements up in front like the menu sign. Other than that, I'm just going to add in some more filler items around the sides. So trees, I think the wooden boxes are amazing to fill up space if you're doing a little street or walkway like this. So added some of that in. And then I always think it's nice to have some sort of method of transportation in here. So for me, I chose a scooter, but you could definitely use a car or a bike. Anything like that will work, but it definitely feels a lot more realistic to me when I can get something like that in there. Then just to fill up some of these little spaces, I added in a serving cart, I added in some of the recycled paper bundles, and then around the sides, I'm just going to add in another wooden box. I added in a globe because it felt very Dark Academia to me. And I think the tricky part now is what to do up in front. So I'm gonna add a layer of bushes up here, and then I think I'm gonna have some sort of seating area. So I pulled some of the bistro tables, which I'm going to try to use, but it just kind of makes sense to kind of expand this cafe with a bit of a seating area up in front. I thought about extending the path I was using before, but I was getting kind of bored of it, so I wanted to have a more natural element up here. So I'm using some of the dirt pathing and then throwing a pile of leaves on top of there to make it feel a little bit overgrown. I know that dark academia usually doesn't feel very overgrown, but I'm just more comfortable with natural aesthetics, so I always need to kind of mix a little bit of that into whatever I'm making. On each side of this dirt path, I'm going to add a smaller dirt path where I will put a bistro table on each of these little pathways. I think that it will just kind of help frame the space a bit, and it just makes sense because if you have a cafe, you need somewhere to sit. So just kind of laying this out now and then putting down my bistro tables. I did choose the darker customization of those to fit in with all of the darker brown elements that I have. And I'm honestly really loving this aesthetic. I might need to do a dark academia themed island because there's a ton of items to work with and a ton of different furniture sets that work really well with dark academia. So maybe I have to try something like that soon. I'm just going to fill in a couple of little filler codes here and there. And then I think I'm going to do a wooden stool on each side of these bistro tables so there's somewhere to sit. But because I love clutter, I'm going to put something on each of the wooden stools just to add some more spice to the space. So adding in a couple of street lamps as well to frame it. And then that pocketbook just kind of worked. So here we are in the final space. It's super simple because it's only a 9x9, but I love the way that this little cafe came out and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I will see you all next time. Bye!